Hello everybody, BD and Barry Keystone Prime. We are going to clay bar truck 2 today. So there's a lot of paint contaminant going on right now. This truck probably hasn't been washed since May. I've been so busy with the build of truck 1 and getting truck 3 ready for hurricane season that good old truck 2 kind of got put on the back burner for a second or two. But we're going to change that today and get all this contaminant out of the paint. I'm going to show you how to do that with simple clay barring. There's plenty of clay barring tutorials on YouTube, but there's not one done by me, and there's not one that you're probably watching right now on a social media network that isn't YouTube. So let's go ahead and go, and I'll show you how to do this. All right, so I used one of these on truck 1 already before polishing. What we have here is the Mother's Complete 3 clay bars kit. It's California Gold Series, and inside this box you're going to have instant detailer, and you're going to have a clean, fresh microfiber cloth, and then you're going to have 3 of these. Now this is a brand new one. Here's one that's already been used. We're going to actually continue using this because it wasn't too bad. It turns out brand new fresh paint doesn't have that many contaminants in it. So we're just going to mash this clay up into a ball. Shake that up a little and then spray a little right there so it doesn't stick. Mash it flat. You're going to want a flat spot. And then just start lubricating with the clay bar. You're going to always want to make sure that wherever you're scrubbing with this clay bar is lubricated with the instant detailer. You're going to want to keep it wet and keep it moving forwards and backwards unless you're trying to get over a body line or something pretty specialty. Will change in the terrain of the vehicle. And just mop your paint down with it. Keep it moving, keep it quick, and you'll feel the clay spread out as you go back and forth. Now, take a look. Surface contaminants. This pulls out surface contaminants is what it does. And we're just going to squish it again and roll it and make sure it's flat. And then once you're done a section of about 2 foot by 2 foot, just go ahead and wipe off that instant detailer. And oh look, it's shiny because you've removed all the contaminants from that section of paint. We're going to do the whole vehicle like this. Now somebody may look at this and say, but Dean, you know, that's what happens when you don't wash your car. Well, I got news for you, Skippy. Washing is not the same as detailing. Washing is not the same as removing surface contamination. Because surface contamination will hang on and thumb its nose at you through the best of washes. Surface contamination doesn't care that you've washed, okay? This vehicle was just ran through a high pressure car wash. That surface contamination did not come off. That's why I'm doing this. And then there's some of you who may watch this who are real deal, true-hearted car guys who already know this. And you're watching this saying, yeah, it's quick detailer, but you know, that doesn't really ever approach a good solid polishing. Well, once again, You have to remove your surface contamination before you polish. That's my opinion. Your mileage may vary, but look at that. It's already 1,000,000% better. And I will be polishing this truck shortly by both hand and machine. See, me personally, I prefer a good hand polish and then machine buff. I bet you a lot of that black surface contamination that I'm getting is coming from these lower rockers, these lower door panels. Like I can actually see the contam down here, like it's visible. And I'm betting, because I haven't done this truck since I bought it in February, I haven't done a surface decontamination on it. I'm betting this has been on here for years and years, ever since that SoundCloud rapper owned it, and I'm betting he didn't do it either. Oh God, look at that, yeah. Now, as far as polishing and waxing is concerned, I'm going to polish and wax this truck, but I'm not doing it right now. I'm going to wait until the sun peeks down over the horizon, because you are not supposed to polish or wax in direct sunlight. It hates that, especially on a black paint job, because it's so hot wherever it's in the sun. Like there's a paint chip right there. I can tell that's been covered up with touch-up paint. Just get up in between the letters. That's broken. Oh, that's broken. Grand Cherokee. I'm gonna get some glue and fix that. You gotta get down and look at it, know where your smears are. Of course, this hood was pretty decently hail damaged in the storm in Indiana, Pennsylvania, back in May. So I am probably just going to replace this hood, because this is my daily driver. Probably going to replace this hood, and Lord knows there is no shortage of black Overland Grand Cherokee junkyard hoods. Hell, Specifically with the Overland, I think about half of them made were black. And this clay is getting very stretched out, very ragged out. Now this here is experiencing part of what I was talking about earlier when you're talking about doing stuff like this with black cars. You don't want to do it in the direct sunlight, but this part of the truck is in direct sunlight, and everything dries a lot faster and is a lot harder to get off. Some pretty bad surface contam right there. Just flake it off with my fingernail. Like all of this right here, very rough. Let's get that smoothed out. Oh wow, yeah. Tons of surface contamination. This dirt, this surface contamination is from everywhere. Everywhere. This surface contamination is from Ohio, Illinois, Indiana, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Tennessee, Missouri, Alabama, Arkansas, Mississippi, Kentucky. Everywhere. Glad to be getting it all off. And you can probably see the difference from here to here in the camera. If you can't, trust me, it's gnarly. We're going to be taking this truck 2 here on vacation. This is going to be the vacation rig in Maryland coming up next month. Be heading back to Ocean City. You may be seeing a Riptide package airing right now on the socials from Ocean City. And that was actually shot last year, but I revised it this year, so you get to see it. Plus, that lets me put out a package on something else while I'm there. Don't know what it'll be. Ocean swim safety, heat emergencies. Who knows? Possibly something tropical, depending on what's going on next month. Put it in the comments. What would you like to see? Can actually see some of the design influences between the WK1 and the WK2. Some of these things were carried on to the next generation and exaggerated. Pretty dirty. Let's try to find the cleanest portion. That's a pretty good dinger right there. No. So is that. That's nasty. That's actually an impact from something. We'll go over color correction in another video. That milky white coming off of there. Get as much of the surface contamination off of that dinger as we can. Yeah, took it down a little bit. Can you see the difference? Final stretch. Oh, the sun moved, and now the back of the truck is in direct sunlight. I don't like that, but we'll get it done. And you can see that scratch that's right there. It's a pretty gnarly gouge, and it's in a plastic panel. And unfortunately, the only way I'm going to get that out is to strip that panel, fill in the scratch, and repaint it. And I'm not doing that. That's a lot of work. I already do enough work. Down by the Hemi badge, go around the number 2. I'm just using my fingers now. This clay is going in the garbage after this is over. Look at all the clay on my fingers. It's coming apart. Yeah, guys, I think that's nice and done. I think that's done. We will be throwing this away. Oh boy, look at that, huh? And just like that, it's not hard. You can have a nice shiny finish. Looks like a black mirror, doesn't it? Look at that over there. And this is by no means perfect. However, it's a lot better than it was. It doesn't have a bunch of contamination jammed into the paint, and it's nice and shiny. It's not embarrassing now. You can take it out. So until next time, Beating Barry for Keystone Prime Weather. There's no weather happening, so we're working on cars. Thank you for watching.